What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to KvltDeFi. This is the channel where we bring you the latest and greatest in innovations and tech in decentralized finance, quite specifically on Pulsechain. It has been a few weeks since I've seen you. I have been a very busy boy. It has been the start of summer, really, so a lot of time for family, bit of time off. You know me, I was streaming. Jesus Christ, I was streaming every inconvenient date. I was streaming on Christmas Day. I was streaming on New Year's Day, on birthdays. All of that sort of stuff. And so, but I am here, right? I am here, and I am here tonight with a very special guest, right? Yield farming on Pulsechain has become a bit of a thing. We're starting to see a few protocols that are, starting to stick their head up. But the one that gets spoken about, I think, the most at the moment really is the EMIT Farms, right? I first heard about the EMIT Farms through Superman from the Kryptonite show a while ago. You know, he's a good friend to this channel. We stream together all the time, and we will be streaming together very soon, the next couple of days. EMIT Farm, it literally is something that I've never really focused on it that much. Purely because I've had my hands full, right, with the Dev Jacob stuff, with Mafia and Pulse, POSD Algo, and Pulse Pot and On-Chain and all that kind of stuff. And I kind of got distracted. So while I had a bit of time off, I had a good bit of time to do a bit of research and have a look around and find out exactly what's going on. So I looked into this, into these guys, see what they were doing, and I really like the look of it. I have participated. I'll let you know that, right? Before we go anywhere, this is not financial advice. Obviously, I'm just a guy here on the internet who likes talking about really cool stuff, and I think this is really cool stuff. So I will bring up my guest now, and let's get to know him a little bit. How are you doing?
Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for having me up.
Yeah, thanks you for joining me. Is it Kairos?
Kairos, like that.
Kairos, perfect.
Kairos.
Excellent. And we were talking a bit in the green room. We've been talking a bit over the last few weeks on Telegram and stuff like that. But as I was saying, for me, yield farming on Pulsechain was something which it was kind of, I want to say it was kind of unheard of up until about 6 months ago, I guess, in a way. And then all of a sudden it seems to just kind of exploded. And am I right in thinking that EMIT Farm was kind of one of those projects that were sort of led the charge?
So it kind of started, we had the incentive token on PulseX, which was, I'd say, the first, yield farm. And we've had Daytona, with another popular one. And then there was kind of a lull. And that lull is kind of what got me going on EMIT Farms when the ink emissions were sliced down.
Rewards got cut, yeah. That's right, yeah.
Like people are going to be looking, for a place that they can put their LP and earn some yield. So that was kind of how EMIT Farms came about. And but I think DeFi has gotten a lot more popular in like the last couple of weeks. I mean, I've seen like a lending protocol pop up, multiple, new yield farms popping up. So that's been really great to see. It's really reminded me of like the 2021 vibes where I got really popular, and you had like a lot of degen DeFi protocols, coming in, and so I'm excited about kind of that taking the spotlight again, because that's I love that stuff. I like strategizing with the yield. That's kind of the fun part for me.
That's cool. This isn't your first protocol, right?
No, I started building on Pulse about a week after Pulsechain went live. Cool. And my first protocol was Impulse, IMPLS, which actually is a yield auto compounder. So basically what that does is that's built kind of to work on top of farms like this. So on Impulse, there's vaults, and for each of those vaults, it would go to a farm, say on EMIT Farms, and it auto compounds those rewards. And over on Impulse right now, we're just doing the Pulsex farms right now. But that was my first intro to building on Pulsechain, and I think
that's great.
It's wild that was 2 years ago already, or something like that. 2 years, I think.
Yeah.
Pulsechain went live.
Yeah, we're getting up there. But hey, our time hasn't even come yet. I've been saying really on stream, I mean, ever since I started the channel, really, if you have an idea out there that, if you have an idea and you think it's something that Pulsechain could use, it could be something even, something for a bit of fun or something a bit serious or some infrastructure protocol, whatever it is. If you have an idea, just find a way to get it out there, right? As long as your heart is in the right place, right? And you think it's something that can help boost the chain, boost the community, all the rest of it, then for God's sake, go and do it, because we need everything here. We need everything. Like you say, 2 years in, and we're still missing some key components to make a chain really, really successful. And in the meantime, make hay while the sun shines. Enjoy yourself. Have a bit of fun.
Yep, I agree with that, definitely. Yeah, I mean, like with these type of protocols, I love building them, the game theory behind them, working with other projects, and just how everything kind of fits together is fun to me. Like right now, we've got, new protocols that are popping up, but they're building on top of EMIT. So, they're finding ways to take that yield and put it to work in their protocols. And it's kind of just creates this money Legos type environment, which I think is interesting to kind of watch unfold. So definitely, I like the experimentation. The builders, like me, I'm just like just one guy kind of that's building these things. It's not a big team, but I think that's where a lot of the gains are made. Is on these kind of smaller protocols. They are higher risk, but if you build something that's cool and everyone ends up liking it, like that's where you get those big gains, really.
Exactly. It looks like we've got some EMIT fans here in the chat. Have a look here. Danny Man says EMIT is awesome. I tend to agree. Right, I tend to agree. We've got More Wealth says algo is coming soon. The cycle of the stable coins. That is right. PUSD algo will be coming. We've been assured it's going to be coming, and I have to say honestly, I think the PUSD algo is going to be. It has the potential to be the flagship protocol for Pulsechain in general, for Pulsechain, right? I've said it many times. There's links in the description. You can go and have a look, but I'm not going to get into that on this stream. I will be doing separate streams about that, right? Morwell says 4 to 5 more months left until the bear market. I don't think so. I think this is going to be dragged out a little bit longer, right? I think this literally. Again, not financial advice. Don't take anything I say serious, but I don't think we'll be slowing down anytime until maybe spring next year, maybe even summer next year. I think everything has been delayed. Even summer has been delayed, for Christ's sake. It's 20 degrees outside where I am, and it should be around 32. Right, so don't worry about that. There's still plenty of time. And then we have Moondog, love and light, brother, love and light. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being here. So what are your thoughts on the whole Pulsechain markets and the ups and downs and everything we've had going on?
It's really relieving to see things that have kind of turned around. I remember my friend KRJ when the whole PDI thing was going on and everything was getting dragged way down, and it was that week, and he was like, "This is the bottom. I'm calling it." And I was like, I really hope so, because it's been brutal. And then, and it looks like he was spot on, really. It's been trending in the right direction, and at least not, going down, tanking like it was. And it's just a way better atmosphere to build in when things are either walking sideways or even, a little green is good too.
Yeah. I absolutely agree with that. I think everyone, I want to say, yeah, probably 2 months ago, I think was probably the worst sentiment that I've seen in a long while. Right, I think people were convinced that Bitcoin had topped out at 110 or something. People were just getting sick of waiting for Ethereum to move. I think that's kind of where it was, right? Everyone's just waiting on ETH. Give us some good news about ETH, and then ETH does this little tiny thing. Richard Hart's trade gets into profit. Right, and then that was it. It's like it seems that everything, and what I like to say, everything was forgiven then, right? All the arguing and the bickering that we saw on X and everything, it seemed to all just vanish with the green candles.
yeah, definitely. When the sentiment gets better, that's awesome for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got MVS Crypt is in the house. Good morning, legends. It's very late for me. Condor says, good evening. We have Crypto Bros from Radon, and he says EMIT and Radon Rage Farms are an amazing duo. I agree with that, and there will be much more to talk about on that one from my side. And then Crypto Africa Gaming Studio says, "What's good, guys? How you doing? How you doing? Thanks for being here." Yeah, so do you want to tell me a little bit about EMIT? So how did the idea actually come around? Was it literally just because you saw what was happening with the ink rewards getting lowered?
So how it actually came about, it's funny how you build things and they kind of build on one another after a while. Because I've done farms in the past, and when I was thinking of doing EMIT, I was like, well, how can I make farms a little bit better? And this was also around the time that reflection token narratives were really picking up on Pulsechain. And so with EMIT,
I know there was Incognito, right? I think was one of the first ones that I saw around there.
That was one. Yeah, I think that one reflected ink, and there's been a few ink ecosystems kind of that have had multiple tokens in it, and the reflection token narrative just kind of got really popular. And basically, what I ended up doing was for the EMIT, there's a reflection on it, a tax on it, 5%, and 1% is burned, and then 4% is sent into a staking contract, and that goes to the single-sided stakers. So it's almost like a reflection token where when we have more volume, there's more rewards, but the users do have to have it staked. So that's kind of how we put a twist on it to make the farming a little bit different and promote holding the token instead of dumping. Because usually with these farms, you'll be earning the reward token, and then you can single-sided stake the reward token, but you're getting more of the reward token. So it kind of leads you to a scenario where you have to dump it, and now with EMIT you can single-sided stake and earn EDI stables is what I chose to pay out, and I did that basically because with the stable token, you can let your rewards grow for a week. You come there, and that $100 is going to be $100, and you can take it and use it in your strategy, whether that's buying more EMIT, buying another of your favorite assets, and pairing more into the farms. And that was kind of what I landed on for the single-sided reward that I thought would be most useful as far as people building out their DeFi strategies.
Yeah, no, I like that actually. Actually, what I'll do, I'll bring up the website because I have to say as well, I really like the way that this is all done. It's all set out really, really nice. Anyone that's here, I will put in the chat just so you know. It is literally emit.farm. Go and check it out. Have a look at that. Right, and we get here. So we got decentralized yield, distributed power. I like the fact that there's a DAO here. Actually, well, we think we can get to discuss that as well in a moment. So walk us through the website, right? Because we've got your various sections. It's all laid out, but it's quite in depth. Actually, this isn't just stake your EMIT, get your EDI, and then that's sort of it, right? You've got the DAO, you've got the NFTs. You've got very active community on Telegram. I'll drop the link in there also in a second. But yeah, walk us through it.
Yeah, so the index page here kind of just gives you an overview of everything. I guess I'll kind of start from the beginning when we first launched. So the first thing, when I was building the community, before the actual farms went live, we did the NFTs. And this was primarily to bootstrap the liquidity, the initial liquidity. I wanted to launch with enough, so we had a nice solid launch. So the emitters NFT kind of acts as a key to the rest of the ecosystem as well. So if you hold one of these emitters NFTs, that allows you to participate in the DAO. So you can create proposals if you have enough voting power. And the primary use was also that if you hold an emitter's NFT, you don't have any deposit or withdrawal fees on the farms. So I think this is kind of like a key entryway into the ecosystem. And I tried to price the NFTs at a spot where anyone could afford them. It was about $30 when I first launched. It's a million PLS. So I think that must be 45 or so now, but fairly affordable. So the emitters NFT, and another reason that I kind of did those is NFTs and having a profile picture that people can use kind of gives everyone something that they can rally around as well. Like you might be in a different group, and if they got an emitters NFT, then you kind of know that about them. You're like, oh, hey, I'm farming over there too. So it was also kind of a community building angle as well. So the NFT is key. 0%. It makes 0% on those deposit and withdrawal fees, which if you're in the farms, the farms that have a fee is the ones that don't have an emit pair. So that would be your farms like INC/PLSX, for example. So that's where, if you hold that NFT, that's important, because if you're doing any, serious amount of farming, they're basically going to pay for themselves right off the bat. And this is the farming page here. And so this is the page that you're going to be on mostly when you're using the protocol. I kind of described that single-sided pool. So that's where those reflections go. And I think the APR on that is like 150% right now. So on the other side of
153, yeah, I like it.
And on the other side of that, so that's kind of the reflection side of EMIT. And on the other side of that, we have the daily inflation, which that's your classic yield farming. Like those new tokens are created each day, and that's what's paid out to all these other farms, like the EMIT/WPLS. That's the pool with the highest amount of allocation rewards. I think it's 20% of the daily inflation. And that kind of goes into these. So that 555 EMIT is spread among all of those other farms. We can kind of, I think the next category down, this first category is all the EMIT and core pairs, and all the APRs for those have been staying really well, up above 100 or so. Pulsex, this was all the V1 Pulsex pairs. We pretty much added all the exact same farms.
Nice.
I think the APRs there, they've gone down a bit, because basically with these farms, if you have any, big amount of TVL coming in, that kind of dilutes the APRs a bit. So I see some around 20 to 30, but some of them are down in the single digits even now. But
yeah, we got the Inc. PLSX is at 8.6% here.
Yeah, but it can turn quick as well. Like when we had the price up to like 250 a month or so ago, and that does bring the APRs up quite a bit. So I've kind of been hesitant as far as turning the emissions up or cranking them up or anything like that. So I've kind of just let them settle where they are, just to kind of see how it plays out. And on most of the other pairs, the APRs are staying around 100%. This is, I think.
Yeah, I can see the vouch here. Vouch EMIT is at 283% APR.
Yeah, the EMIT paired ones are doing really well, and I think part of that is just because the EMIT is still such a scarce asset that people don't have enough EMIT to pair into all these farms.
What's the total supply of EMIT at the moment? I saw it was around 170,000. Is that about right?
I think it's up at the top on the statistics. I think it's like 110,000. So total supply.
Oh, there we go. 114. Wow.
Yeah. And then you can see the total burned. A portion of that was when we had first launched, I had burned a chunk that we had. And then that number is consistently going up from the 1% burn on the token as well. Right now, with the 555 daily inflation, it works out to about 200,000 EMIT per year being created. So you figure at this time next year, if we're at 114 now, that'd be, we still would be well under 1 million. We would only be at about 300,000 total supply. So it's fairly conservative as far as the emissions have gone.
I think it's great in comparison to your market cap, right? Because the market cap here is 127,000 at the moment. With such a low token supply and the way the markets are running, and with all the new blood that we're going to get into the chain, I mean, like I say, right, I'm not a financial advisor, but the numbers seem pretty juicy to me.
Yeah, right now we have 500 plus K in TVL and 120K market cap. So, that's a really healthy ratio, I think. And when things do start, like one of my primary focuses has been to get EMIT paired with quality projects, through partnerships, and also with the RH core assets, so that when we do have, green market days, it pulls EMIT up with it. And we just saw it the day before yesterday, when we had, some good green candles. We got pulled up. I think we were at like $1.40. So it had a nice little pump there. And that's kind of been my focus as far as on the design and how it should perform with the market. because each of these farms that are paired with EMIT, like we have a lot of the PLSB/EMIT, all these partner projects that we're paired with. If these projects do well, that also, since we're tied in liquidity with Hart's Law, that also pulls us up as well. So that's been one of my bigger focuses is getting us paired, growing our liquidity web. When I'm doing the allocations for the pools, that's kind of one of the things that's on my mind. Like I said, with those lower APR farms, like I haven't rushed in and just cranked them up yet, because you really want the emissions kind of being focused more so on the EMIT pairs, because for the health of the project, that's what's going to, give it longevity. And when people decide they want to sell, that's what's going to give them quality liquidity, that's not going to demolish us. So that's kind of been my focus as far as allocating the points to where it's going to be most beneficial to the project.
Great. So how do you go about finding which tokens and which protocols to partner with?
So a lot of the ones that we've partnered with so far have just been, projects that I like, projects that I was already into or that the community likes and is already into. And that's the thing with the DAO is anyone can come in and suggest a farm. Essentially, they can put in a request for a farm, and then people can vote on it. So that's been, I know we just added the PTGC/EMIT farm, and that wasn't actually a mutual collaboration. I'd reached out to them, but we didn't end up having one. And but a community member had requested that farm, so we did end up adding that farm for the communities because people voted it in. That's usually my method as far as if someone reaches out for a collaboration, we'll do a proposal. It'll pass, and I'll try and do a mutual collaboration if I can, which means, we'll do mutual announcements, announce the farms. We even have an airdrop bot in the community, which has been, hand curated of community members. So we'll airdrop partner project tokens to the community members. And that's kind of been my kind of sequence of events on new collaborations. Is each of these categories can be a partner project. That's the way I kind of set it up. So if we have a lot of interest in a certain project, then we can have multiple farms for that project as well. And they can have kind of their own little category.
Nice. Yeah, I can see quite a lot here. Yeah.
Yeah, the community tokens, that's just communities all around Pulsechain that have kind of reached out with interest of a farm. And we've added them. We got the DAT/EMIT farm. That's a cool one because we actually just had the DAT/EMIT on the homies farm added. So you can actually put half your LP in each farm and be earning both sides of that asset. You can be earning the DAT and the EMIT and kind of growing your position without even bringing any new assets in. So that's kind of cool.
Nice.
And we have the same. Speaking of that, on the yield/EMIT, which is Function Island, that's kind of the same scenario. You can farm on EMIT and earn your EMIT side of things, and then you can also go on Function Island and stake your yield/EMIT and earn yield to kind of grow that position without needing any other assets.
That's pretty cool. I like that. How can people find you straight away? So they know EMIT Farm is literally EMIT Farm on X, EMIT Farm on Telegram, right?
Yes, it is EMIT Farm on X and Yep, just EMIT Farm pretty much, and that'll pull us up there. And then obviously on the website, we also have links to the socials and everything if people need them. The Telegram has been really active. That's a great place that people with any questions that have come in, even if I'm not, right there available, the community is always there, and they're real helpful. And anyone that's had any issues gets them solved pretty quick. So that's been great. Active community. That was one of my main goals as far as, this whole project.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, I'm in your Telegram every day, having a look around, and yeah, the community they're really good. They're really good, actually. They are very helpful. They love doing all these raids, and yes, I really like the airdrop model that you do. I have to say, I think it's a very smart move. I think it's very smart move, very clever move to get people engaged. And what a way to distribute tokens, right? It was exactly something similar which we had with Pulsepot way back. It was how can basically how can you get more community tokens into so many people's hands? And we were doing it through the Pulsepot jackpot game. I like the fact that you have so many farms. You really so many. I think it's really cool. And yeah, the Hocus Pocus guys, the Grays community, SolidX, yeah, some good stuff. There's some good stuff happening. How important is it to you to control the supply of EMIT token over time?
As in like my personal holdings, or as in the treasury?
No, for the treasury for the protocol. So listen, so your EMIT rate is right, 555.55.
Oh, as far as like the inflation rate that we have, my goal has been to keep it, pretty much started as low as we could. I think the original number that I started at was 369 per day. And then it was 479 per day, and now it's 555 per day. So it's been turned up a couple times, but not by like a huge amount. And as far as turning it up, my goal has just been to keep APRs, attractive, but there's also only so much you can do. So I don't want to just crank it up. I really don't see turning it up much anymore for the time being. I know there's no like thoughts of cranking it way up or anything like that. Like the last couple of times that has been turned up a little, it's been like this last time it was turned up 15%. So yeah, that's my goal, is to keep it about where it's at.
No, I think it's really, really important. And if we're just looking at that screen there, right? So your total supply at the moment is like 114K, and there's 42K already burnt, right? I think it's actually really, really good that you're keeping things pretty tight. And it's really important that you don't just set it and forget it. I think this is definitely something that needs quite a bit of monitoring as you go forward, especially for the community. You seem like a very, very hands-on dev founder, and I think that really rubs off on the community. I think that's one of the reasons why they're also helpful, because they see you around all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is interesting with the 1% burn. I know me and a couple of the other guys were figuring it out one day, and if we actually had 50,000 in daily volume, that would be where inflation-wise, that is where we would burn the same amount that we created. So that would be really, obviously that's a pretty good amount. I think on our busy days, I think we usually average between 5 and 10,000. So it does burn some, but I just thought that was an interesting number, that if we did consistently get that 50K a day in volume, then we would be deflationary.
That is cool. About the voting, right? So I'm looking here, and it says that you need a certain minimum amount of votes for the proposal to pass. How do people go about discussing this for the vote? Is it literally just in the Telegram? Do you guys have VCs in the Telegram so people can actually discuss it together?
Just in the Telegram. Yep. Mostly what it's been used for, like, because I'll usually have projects that will, approach to have a farm set up for like a collaboration, and I'll send them to create a DAO proposal, and the DAO proposals are essentially, collaborate with this project and maybe also start with this farm and this farm. So to create a DAO proposal, it's you need 1% of the EMIT. So I think right now it's about 520. And how the EMIT works is when you stake into the single-sided staking, it mints you 1 EMIT for every emit. So your DAO voting power is based on how much you have single-sided staked. So people would have to have 520 emit stakes, and they'd be able to create a proposal. For example, a partner looking to have a new farm added in the community tokens, or possibly a category. They would have those EMIT create their proposal, and then the community would come in, and to pass a proposal, it's 10% of the total EMIT is required. So I think that's 5,200. So people have to come in and actually say, okay, yep, we're going to pass this proposal. People vote for it. And that's basically how new partnerships and possibly, farm emissions can be adjusted through that model. It's primarily consensus for me. Essentially, is that this DAO voting is for me to get consensus from the community. Like, I know one of our recent ones was people wanted to actually turn up the fees on the farms that we have that do have fees to kind of boost the value of the NFTs and get the rest of those minted out. So that was one type of proposal that had come up. But primarily it's for new partners to come in and request their farms and get added. And then allow the community to say, yes, this is something we'd like to do, or no, this isn't something that we think would benefit the protocol.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, I like that. I like that as well, right? I like the fact that you sort of give some sort of pushback, not only on the community, but onto other protocols that, to get them to reach out and see what the story is, and see how you guys are running along with it. Yeah, I mean, I like that. You're starting to get a bit of attention, right? So if we talk about is it purely just the community that you want to drive this over time? Or do you have plans to sort of to be reaching out to maybe other bigger protocols that are sort of out there? I mean, at the moment, Pulsechain is still so young. I think there's room for everybody. But I really like this. But do you think, where would you like this to grow to, I guess is what I'm asking.
Yeah, I think it's important to essentially, when I was setting up, the farm pages and everything, I wanted projects to have a place where they could come and have their project added, and people would be able to earn yield, and then also obviously earn yield on those core assets. So that was the primary focus. Yeah, I did want a strong community, but also I think I had a lot of experiences as far as running these farms that were useful along the way that I've kind of used to adjust things. So I think that's also important. But I think a lot of the changes that I've made along the way or different adjustments that I've done, the community would agree with. So yeah, I'm not necessarily looking for the community to drive everything. I guess mainly it's just to have a solid, well-branded yield farm that can grow in value over time. Really is kind of my target. Giving people a good place that they can come earn yield, strategize with that yield. Like I said, that's one of my favorite parts, is taking that yield that you are earning and kind of moving it into your favorite projects, your favorite farms, whether those farms are there on EMIT or across the Pulsechain ecosystem. So that's kind of been my goal, is to just build a solid place for that. And yes, though, growing the community and having a strong community, I think is one of the keys to the success of the project over time. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I mean, I'm starting to see, just by being in the telegrams, so I can see a lot of cooperation between EMIT and Radon and Vox DeFi and Rhino. I think are you working with the Rhino Fi guys as well now? Did I see there's a bit of back and forward?
They've actually, Max helps me out with some social postings on Twitter there, and then also Danny, I think he's the founder of Rhino. He just reached out, and where he's supposed to be putting in a proposal either today or this weekend or so to vote that through. So I think that'll be one of our next partners coming into the EMIT ecosystem.
Yeah, no, I like that, right? Because individually, I mean, yes, all yield farming, all kinds of similar, but still very, very different, right? And each one of them is very different. And I like the fact that there's this little sort of circling of the wagons, if you like, right? There's a bit of circling of the wagons involved. And I think you have quite a lot of crossover with community members also, because obviously people like yield farming tend to really go and find out everything about yield farming and everyone who's doing the right kind of yield farming. I think this sort of community web that I think you're building, and this sort of yield web as well that's coming around, I think it has so much potential, because it's something that grabs your attention very quickly. It's something that really is paying out. pretty much like immediately. And there's some, there's some really good ideas behind it, and they're all I think they're all different enough that they really benefit each other, and they really help the other aspects of each protocol kind of shine. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I think, like I said, I think just the whole DeFi scene on Pulsechain gaining more momentum. I can actually see, like I said, I've been here kind of since Pulsechain, went live, and I've run multiple protocols, and like it almost seems like users legitimately are getting smarter with this DeFi stuff. Like I've witnessed it kind of happening over time. Like I see people understanding it more and really taking more interest in it for sure. So yeah, I think having the DeFi scene, yield farming, growing as a whole is great for every project involved.
Yeah, I think so. MVS Crypt just said, let's not forget to drop a follow for KvltDeFi and Kairos. Yes, do that. If you are here because, and maybe it's your first time here, right? Maybe you're coming here because you're part of the EMIT community and you don't really know who I am. I'm KvltDeFi. I do this quite often. Very active community member on Pulsechain in general. I'm KvltDeFi on YouTube, on X, on Twitch, on Telegram, just KvltDeFi everywhere. All right. Some of you, if you are here because you know me and you know the channel, go and check out EMIT Farms. Right. You will recognize community members from most of our existing community chats. There might be, you might meet some new people around. To go into, I actually think that we need to really try and bump up Twitter just in general. I think there's a lot of chat in Twitter now, but everything is, everyone is just kind of saying, hey, we've already made it, we're already there. We still have so much further to go before we make it, right? This is really just the beginning, guys. These are the sort of protocols that you need to look up, research, take part in, help to promote, all that good stuff, right? Look at the guy literally just posted this comment, MVS Crypt. He's out there going absolute crazy. He's got this monster thread that's going on, and I think he's I think he's right now actually. I think he's reaching maybe tens of thousands. I think it's maybe up to 20 or 30,000 people that are seeing this monster thread that he's putting out every week, 10 days, along with Superman. Superman is starting to cover a lot of these protocols as well. If you are looking for someone that you want to look for really news, not exactly so much TA, but I think just a broader spectrum of what's happening in crypto in general, and the markets in general, and especially on Pulsechain, the Kryptonite Show, Superman. Do yourselves a favor, go and subscribe to him and watch him. He puts out videos daily, and he's really good, and he's covered a lot of these protocols and EMIT quite often, actually. So yeah, the community is doing its thing. People are starting to drop these really cool protocols, and there's many more coming. I like to see how these things progress. Like I've sort of been sitting on the back with EMIT just for some time, just watching and seeing how everything's going. And I really like it. I really like it. Thank you very much, Carlos. It's pretty cool, man.
And definitely shout out to Superman. He was actually covering EMIT before we had even launched. He was there real early, covering the launch and everything. So that was great. And I appreciate you guys following along, as I built this and put this together for us. And MVS, he's done great with the newsletter also. He's covered EMIT quite a few times. I've seen him getting a lot of shout outs for the monster thread. So I think that's something that was really needed for the community as well.
Absolutely, and the community have absolutely snapped it up, right? They love it. Even Somi now does videos, and he literally just goes through that monster thread. So it's clearly working. It's clearly taking us in the right direction. If there's anyone out there that doesn't know how farming works, this is it, right? It's a simple 4-step process. You select your farm and you choose from various farming pools based on your preferred assets and APR. You approve your tokens, you stake your assets, and you harvest your rewards. It is that simple, right? But look, do your own research. Look at everything, okay? Don't take my word for it. Don't take anyone's word for it, actually. Go and do your own research, check it out. But I can tell you that in the telegrams and with the community, people are doing this, people are loving it, people are really taking part, and it's starting to make people a fair bit of money. I have been talking to Curtis on the side as well for some private things which are going to be coming around. I know a lot of you have probably seen what's happening with Pulsechain Miner. We're going to be getting there soon. I will baby steps, right? Because obviously want this to hit the ground running as best we can. But I might have some ideas coming around. There's other people that have some ideas coming around. I think we're going to be in the right place. Kairos, is there anything else you would like to talk about concerning EMIT?
Just to hop in the Telegram, and anyone that finds us through this video, jump in and mention that that you saw us on the KvltDeFi show, and we can get you on the airdrop list as well. If anyone has any questions as far as farming, I like how we just kind of went over how simple the farming really is, because I tend to add a lot of complexity to it. But it is nice to remember that it is you stake these LP tokens and earn a portion of the daily inflation. And that's kind of the whole game, and then strategizing with your rewards. But I think otherwise we pretty much covered everything pretty well. So I appreciate you having me up.
Oh, that's no problem at all. That's no problem at all, man. Yeah, I think it probably is quite easy for you as the founder, the guy that sits back and does all the all the working out and writes all the contracts and all the rest of it. It can be quite easy for you maybe to always have the back seat view, the bird's eye view down, and it really is that simple. Farming is that simple. You do all the hard work and everyone else makes it, just has the easy run, right?
Awesome.
Cool. Guys, like, subscribe, right? Share this around. Hit the notification bell so you can see what's happening. I am definitely going to be doing more of these. Kairos, you are absolutely welcome to jump on anytime at all. Anytime there's something new coming around, just let me know, and we'll set up a stream. If you are curious about yield farming, guys, first thing you should do is go to EMIT Farm on Telegram, t.me/EMIT Farm. Go and check out with the community, have a few conversations, find out what people's strategies are, right? One of the cool things about all of this, do you remember, Kairos, you'll remember, when liquid loans was announced and the sacrifice was open, do you remember all of the various strategies that people were putting together, like the haunted strategy and all the rest of those guys?
Oh, there's so many you can do with those protocols, for sure.
Yeah, exactly right. But it became a thing, right? Everyone on Pulsechain had their own strategy, and they were trying to come up with bizarre ways to do it, right? I think that the protocols like EMIT, the community should be doing those type of things. Yeah. Try to find the infinite money glitch. Try to find it and share it.
I just did a poll actually on what the community would most like me to kind of put some more focus on, and that was the top voted thing was educational new strategies, going over strategies for people using their rewards. So that'll be over on our blog. That'll be one of the new kind of content segments that we have coming up. It's just kind of different ways you can take your EMIT and take your EDI, and I think one of the best things to do is you can take those rewards and work into your favorite protocols, whether that is EMIT or whether that's, another project, or you just want to diversify into multiple projects. It kind of gives you a way that you can do that diversification without having to. It's another way you can do it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it makes absolute sense, right? And I think, like I say, I think this absolutely really does have the potential to have the community just ignite behind it, because sharing strategies, right? Sharing strategies really, really works. Everyone has their own idea on what they think is the best way to do it. But at the end of the day, it can kind of be trial and error unless you have people to guide you, right? So the community is there to guide you. Guys, jump onto all these, onto all of these things. Do your homework. Go and research. But most importantly, engage with the communities, right? The communities are the ones that are going to teach you. They're going to maybe hold your hand when you need it. And maybe you'll be able to help somebody else, right? Steel sharpens steel, right? And that's what we need more on Pulsechain. Kairos, thank you so much, mate. Don't disappear. I will catch you in the green room after this. But guys, again, like, subscribe, notification bell, follow EMIT Farm. If you have any questions at all, reach out to me. I am more than willing to let you know what I think. Yeah, if there's anything that you need from me, just let me know, and I will catch you all again. Guys, thanks very much. Good luck.